Hello, welcome to Squirrel Tail. In this video, I am taking a look at the Uberti replica of the Remington revolving rifle. Now, Remington came out with this revolving rifle in the late 1860s, just after the Civil War. And it was kind of a way to use up parts and tooling used to make the regular revolver. Now, the Remington revolver was the second most popular revolver in the Civil War, and it was a very good gun, very well liked by the users, and seen a good amount of service. So, essentially what they did is they took the same frame, put on a shoulder stock, like this, and then they put on a longer barrel. The original barrels were from 22 to 24 inches. The Uberti one is 18 inches, so a little bit shorter. But it uses the same cylinder, essentially, as the revolvers. Now, the Uberti replica is not perfect from the originals I've seen. The barrel length and a few other small things, but it's still pretty close. There's only a handful of the originals around, and that's probably because not a lot of them sold. In the late 1860s, when this came out, there was already cartridge guns out there. The 1866 Winchester. You had the Henry rifles. You also had things like Sharps and Spencers, and a whole host of other single-shot carbines were introduced on the market, along with plenty of old muzzleloaders that still work perfectly fine. But essentially, you have to remember, they didn't have to make this. They didn't have a lot of money in tooling up to make something new. They could use the same tooling and some of the same parts, same hammers, stuff like that to make it. So the investment in tooling and stuff like that was not as high as a new project. So they were able to sell them relatively cheap. But again, not a lot of them sold. Now, some of the other things to note, and this is an inherent issue with revolving rifles. Now, revolving pistols are one of your most popular pistol types, obviously. Until semi-automatics, they were by far the most practical pistol out there. But when it comes to rifles, there's a few issues. Probably one of the biggest one is to consider it. The safe way to shoulder or to hold this is with both hands like this, almost like still like a pistol. And you can see in the video me shooting it. But you have to have both hands behind the cylinder. This is done for two reasons. First being, this gases escape through here, and if you have a hand like this, your wrist and stuff's going to get torn up by those gases. The other issue, and this is primarily for a cap and ball, and while filming this actually happened, is you run the risk of another cylinder getting ignited. And if you're holding it like this, say you decide to even wear like a leather glove or something, but one of those other cylinders get ignited, you're going to get a handful of lead. Now, while filming this video, the shooting at part of it, I actually had a chain fire. And I have a whole video on that topic. There will be a link at the end where I experienced a chain fire. So that is not a good thing at all. And while you have to hold your hand like this. That being said, that kind of limits your barrel length and overall weight. You really couldn't make it a big caliber because it would balance really weird. You put anything longer. Now this one at 18 inches balances pretty good, but I think if you had another say took it out to mid-20s, I think it would become pretty awkward to hold that way. Become very barrel heavy. Now, it is a rather fun gun to shoot and can actually be a very effective for hunting. This one here has taken game before in the appropriate seasons. And, you know, they group well, you know, as long as you don't want to take it too much beyond 50 yards, and it's a fun range toy. And if you have one of the pistols, you know, the stuff to shoot the pistol is the exact same as to shoot the rifle, a 44 caliber Remington, or if you have a 44 caliber Colt, you know, Uberti replica or Pieta replica or whatever, or an original. The stuff you need to shoot it are the same, so that's kind of neat. But yeah, it's a fun little gun. Here's some footage of me shooting it, and I hope you have a good day.